something that I practice in my own time, and I find it really beneficial for myself. And so I thought that I would bring it into my classroom and see if it was beneficial for my kids as well. So I started it in my classroom about 3 years ago, and I first started just by using different programs, so then I could see and help the kids to regulate what they were feeling, regulate their emotions, and help them to then implement that knowledge into discussions that they were having with their peers, and also their interactions that they were having with their peers. So I implemented in my teaching about 3 years ago. I use mindfulness in my practice to support students in regulating themselves. So to look inwards in terms of how they're feeling, how their body's reacting to how they're feeling as well. And so students can see for themselves how they're feeling and what their emotions are. They don't have to come and talk to a teacher all the time. So I use mindfulness, so then it just gives students another strategy that they can use rather than always coming to the teacher. And yeah, it gives them strategies to provide them with conflict or how they're feeling. So I implement mindfulness in my classroom when the students come back in after lunch. That is the main time that we practice mindfulness during the day, and that is a time where we sit down, we do our breathing, we make our bodies still, and it's time where kids can reflect on themselves, how they're feeling, if they're quite heightened from their play at lunchtime or from things that have happened earlier in the day. Having that moment to stop, to think, to rest and to breathe gives them that chance to look inwards and that chance to just settle themselves in on what they're doing. And having that time each day, I've noticed that the kids are much more settled when we then go on with our learning that we do in the afternoon. They're able to then join in discussions with what we're doing. If students find it difficult to come and have that quiet time, if they need a little bit more movement or need a little bit more than just sitting and quietly doing our breathing, then I do some mindfulness drawing. So I have one student who does mindfulness drawing whilst we are doing our breathing, and what I've noticed for that child is that they're still able to listen to what we're doing and listen to what we're talking about, but it really helps that child they still have that movement, they still are able to draw how they're feeling or what they're seeing or what their body's reacting to, or something that's happened in their day that they're thinking about that, oh, I really enjoyed that. So they're able to process what's going on, but in a different way than just breathing. Another way that we practice mindfulness is we talk about when we're having discussions with kids or when students are having their own conversations with one another. We talk about how we can communicate during those conversations. So if, for example, if someone steps on your toe, and rather than just turning around and saying, oh, you stood on my toe, that hurt, da 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 da, we talk about, well, what could we say if someone stepped on your toe? Oh, excuse me, you stepped on my toe. And then the other student will turn around and say, oh, I'm sorry, I stepped on your toe, I didn't see you. So just encouraging students to have those conversations that aren't just jump and straight away attack. It's stopping, thinking about what can I say that's going to benefit both students. That's going to be a kind and thoughtful communication. So the kids have found that really beneficial, and myself and other staff members have used those strategies about modelling that mindful communication, and they're seeing those benefits in the playground as well. So not as many students are coming to the teachers to say this person did this, because they're able to solve that conflict on their own. I would definitely recommend mindfulness to other educators and even to people at home. Mindfulness is a really good way to get kids to just look in, check in with themselves to see how they're feeling and to help them regulate their own emotions, and also to then support others around them. So mindfulness can be used in the classroom, can be used at home, and it can also be used from kids who are down in prep all the way up to high school age.
What resources do you recommend when starting out with mindfulness?
When you're starting out with mindfulness, I definitely recommend the 5-finger breathing. So for 5-finger breathing, what I do is we breathe in when we're going up, and then when we're going down, we breathe out. And you just do that for 5 fingers and get the kids to follow along and trace with their fingers. That's a really good way just to calm down. A great app that I use is called Smiling Minds, and it's really, really good because it has all the programs in there. It teaches, you just put it on and anyone who's using it can just listen to the program because it talks you through it. So if you're a teacher and you want to use the Smiling Minds app, all you literally do is you press play, and then you can sit there with the kids and listen to it, and it talks you through it. So you don't have to do anything, it just talks you through it. So I definitely recommend the Smiling Minds app. Yeah.